One will be at all the funerals, one will be at none of the funerals, and one will have none of us at their funeral. What's going on, YouTube? That's a quote I'd heard or seen quite a while back, and every once in a while it pops into my head, and it's still as bad as the first time. It's a kick in the nuts to actually stop and think about, because I admittedly I'm at that point where I could say I've got more years behind me than I do ahead of me, and that's a kick in the nuts to think about. But it makes me think, because I've got 3 younger brothers. The youngest one is 10 years younger than I am. So I got to be there for all of them coming home as newborns, growing up into little toddlers, annoying little brothers, teenagers, graduate, prom, getting married, having youngins. I got to see all of that with each one of my brothers, and to stop and think about that is what an honor and a privilege that is. And I know myself personally, they're all better men than I am. And I always tell them I'm the example of what not to follow, what not to grow up to be. I ain't grown up yet though, so. But those are wild thoughts. Those are wild thoughts, because, and I don't think deep on it, but it just kind of passes through. Like, I can't imagine all 4 of us not being together. You know, it was crazy when Dad passed and Mom passed, and it's almost like it's expected because it's going to happen to everybody, right? But us, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. And then another thing too, I've been hearing, I watch videos here and there, and people talking about using YouTube to leave a legacy, and outside of whatever else it is that they're doing. And at first I thought, that's silly. That sounds weird, and then got to thinking about that a little more, and it's like, actually that's kind of cool, because like my grandparents, I got to know them through my teenage years, but if they would have had, or if I could have had something like this that they could have shared stories on, or I had a great uncle that I remember, and a great uncle and aunt that I remember, and I was too young to even really pay attention to his stories or care much about it, like kids do. It was, I don't know. But how cool would it have been if they had something like this to share their stories, and I could see them back then. Does that make sense? Am I making sense? So I was like, okay, that is kind of a neat idea. I can actually be on here, which I've been sharing goofy stuff and everything, but I could share stories of how mean I was to my brothers when we're growing up, and I wasn't that mean. I mean, just regular big brother mean stuff, Like, the youngest one, Dad would blow up the bathroom, and we'd throw him in there and hold the door shut and listen to him gag, and so mean and so rotten. But wrestling around in the backyard and fighting and this and that and that and this, and seeing now they all got kids, so I still get to pick on the little ones. Just, it's not as bad though. It's more fun and just jabbing jokes at them and stuff. But that's crazy to think too. Always thought it was the weirdest thing that my youngest brother turned 21 and we could drink together. Well, and then my son ended up turning 21. That was even weirder. And now I've got nieces and nephews that are graduating high school, graduating college. It's like, holy smokes, wait a minute. I remember when I got to see all these kids come home at baby stage and grow up. It's quite the privilege and honor to to witness all this, and I'm glad we have the family that we got. I mean, we're a pretty close family. We're pretty good, and so okay, I'll have to work on that. Maybe I can leave some stories on here, and one day maybe, grandkids or excuse me, the grandkids or their kids or whatever. Hey, that was your so and so, or that was your great grandpa, your great great grandpa, your great 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 uncle, or he's a goofball. Well, yeah, I am, but I don't know, just kind of this wild thing. It probably doesn't make any sense, but anyway, okay, time to go. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a good one.